So today we're going to be creating some landscapes with Bob Ross. In your attachment, there are a lot of really awesome things that we've already talked about. So on page 3, remember this is what it means to create a landscape. We've got a background, a middle ground, and a foreground. On page 7, we have some awesome reference pictures that you could pick from to create your landscape today. You could also look up an image as well. I'm going to model what it would look like to look up an image successfully. So you'll hit your home button, then you'll go either to Safari or Chrome, and you're going to be searching for an image of a landscape. So you can see that I was looking at Frida Kahlo the last time I was here. So today, though, I am going to look for landscape. So LANDSCAPE spells landscape. Then I'm going to click on images, and that's going to take me to pictures of landscapes. There are lots of really awesome options here. When you are thinking about a good one to draw, like most of these we can draw if we really set our mind to it. Ones that are going to be a little bit easier to draw are ones where it's really clearly divided into just some simple shapes of color, maybe some simple line details. Ones that are going to have a little bit more challenge to them, but you can still do them, are ones like this one that have a little bit more fine detail happening there. So you're going to scroll through, you'll pick a landscape that you think to yourself, yeah, I'd kind of like to draw that one. So like maybe this one calls your name. You can tap on that, and then if you press and hold on the picture, you have some options. So I'm going to save that image. So now that image is saved to my photo roll, so I can keep coming back to it and check it out as I'm drawing, whether that's drawing on paper or possibly drawing digitally. One of the really cool apps you have available to you on your iPad is this one. It's called Sketches School. So you can see I was working on a self-portrait, super fun. I am going to get a new piece of paper, and then in this app I can click the 3 dots, I can click this box with an arrow pointing into the box, and I can pick a photo from my photos that I might want to include. So maybe I want to include this photo. I can make that photo really big to fill the page, then I can hit the check mark. Now that photo is in my drawing space. I've got all sorts of really fabulous tools that I can use. I've got a pencil, a fine point marker, a more broad point marker, a paintbrush, actually a couple different kinds of paintbrushes with different marks, an airbrush, lots of different tools that I can use. I can switch colors by tapping on that little square to get the full color spectrum. And then I can get started. So if I was to approach this one, I might approach it with watercolors, which is that brush there. I might start in the background with this kind of soft blue and maybe a middle one. And then I can just start kind of painting over the top of the picture to layer things in. The way that the watercolors work is that they are going to layer over the top of each other and get darker and kind of blend in their colors. So if blue is going to be my base layer, then I might switch to that pink and paint over in those areas where I'd seen those pink clouds. I might even get darker with the pink. And each time I layer over, the colors are kind of blending and they're getting darker. So that's a fun tool that you can use. You can keep going with that. Just want to show you real quick. So you can see that there's a lot of potential for working in this medium. This is a landscape that I had done earlier. A lot of layering that you can do working in that medium. When you are working, if you want to see what your artwork looks like without the picture, there's this little eye icon way up at the top. If you tap on it, it hides your picture so you can just see what your artwork looks like. When you go to take your screenshot, please make sure that your photograph is not there anymore so that we can just see your artwork if that's the way that you are creating your artwork today. To take a screenshot, you are going to tap on either your magic button and then select Take Screenshot, or you'll press and hold on the buttons on the side of your iPad to accomplish that. I would like you to crop your screenshot so that those tools aren't there anymore, so that it's just your awesome landscape. You can also hit the box with an arrow pointing out to export your drawings into your photos too. When you're done cropping your screenshot, you hit done and then save to photos, and that'll allow you to upload your work later. Alrighty, so my amazing artist, today I want to talk a little bit about how to draw a landscape, especially when we're working with a reference photo like we're going to be doing today. So as we observed, a landscape is a work of art of a place. The first thing that I like to do when I'm going to create a landscape is I pick a place that I want to create. So here's a picture that I took earlier this year. And then I start always with my fabulous pencil. So as I'm thinking about this landscape, the important features here are the trees, and then there's this cool cloud formation. There's also some different layers of color that I might want to think about with my pencil as I'm starting to lay things in. I like to be really sketchy as I am laying things out, so I actually might start with just a sketchy line that kind of talks about the way that the trees are. So is that realistic? No, it's not. But it is a good idea, a good starting point to start thinking about how to lay out these trees. So as I'm looking at my landscape, I've got one tree over here that's really large and pronounced. I might spend some more time thinking about that tree. And you have the choice today to either try to be super realistic, or you can be kind of what we call abstract. So kind of thinking about how to suggest that something sort of looks a certain way with different lines and shapes. So as you can see here, I'm just making a bunch of diagonal lines that sort of connect to each other to kind of talk about the branches of that tree. There's another tree down here that is kind of a cone shape that's a little bit bigger, a little bit more pronounced. There's kind of a darker shadow down here towards the bottom in my picture. I've got some more trees that are kind of swooping off at some different angles, some that are coming more straight up. And again, I'm just kind of repeating some lines, studying my picture, thinking about what kind of marks that I see in my picture. Remember, a great tip as you are looking at your artwork is to work light until you get it right. So as you're working on laying out your landscape, if you're not so confident about your lines, it's a good idea to press lightly with your pencil because that makes it a little bit easier to erase. And so I can keep going to build in the form of my landscape. I recommend, like I said, starting with pencil. You can color with whatever materials you have available to you today. If you want to include Bob Ross painting a landscape in your artwork, maybe include the squirrel, you can certainly include those details too. I am going to fast forward as I continue to lay out this landscape. Remember, what I'm looking for is your best as the fantastic artist that you are. So once you have finished drawing and coloring your landscape so that it fills the whole paper, and you've really studied the different lines and shapes that you see in your landscape, the different colors that you see in your landscape, you are ready to then present your work by taking a nice picture for Seesaw. Once your work is all done, you will hit the X from your attachment, and then you're going to hit this green rectangle Add Response button. If you are somebody who drew your artwork with paper and pencil, then you'll be clicking Take a Photo. If you're somebody who created your artwork digitally, you're going to hit Upload. So I'm going to hit Upload Photos and Videos, and then I'm going to select my artwork, the one that I want to turn in. So I might select this one, and then I'll hit the green check mark. It'll load. Now I'm in my basic drawing tools. At this time, I could add a page, and I could add a typed or audio comment kind of reflecting on my artwork how I feel I did. Once I'm ready to go, I'll hit that green check mark to turn it in, and then I am good to go. I can't wait to see what you create.